Good afternoon. Today our group will be presenting our improvised kit. First, we have the life cycle of a frog. The blue is water, the green is land. So we have the adult frog here. The adult frog will go into the water and lay eggs. The eggs hatch, will be the tadpoles. The tadpoles are turned into the froglet. The froglet is into the water, come on land and continue to turn into the frog. And the cycle starts all over again. Next we have our wind vane. It's a weather instrument that shows direction, whether it's north, east, west, how the wind blows. Next we have our cross section of the tooth and its parts. We have enamel. We have the dentin. We have the gums. We have the pulp. We have the cementum. We have the bone. We have the blood vessels and nerves. Next we have our excretory system. The excretory system filters the blood. So we have the kidneys, we have the uterus, we have the bladder and the urethra. This represents the kidneys, the uterus and the bladder. So the blood is being filtered by the kidneys, which you get the salt and the urea. The urea and the water forms the urine, and that urine will go into the bladder. When the bladder is filled, that's when we have the urge to pee. So I'm going to do a simple demonstration on how it works. So I have my little pee water that represents urine. Throw my thing here. And you can see it goes straight into the bladder. So when the bladder is filled, that's when we have the urge to
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be presenting my part of our group science kit. Today I'll be presenting on parts of a flower, the electric circuit, a model showing the rotation and revolution of the moon and the sun around the earth, and the soil layers, the different parts of the soil. Okay? First, today we'll be starting with the soil layers. This part, which is the first part, is the bedrock. Okay, this is made up of the big rocks and so on. Okay, then the second part is the parent material. The third part, the subsoil. Fourth part, the topsoil. And the final part is the humus, which is the final part. Okay? And the humus, you have to say that is what we mostly walk on when we go out there. Okay? When we go out in the environment and so on, the humus is what we walk on. For the rotation and revolution, this is the earth, this is the sun. Okay? The next part is the electric circuit. This is the bulb, the battery, that it is made up of the bulb, the battery, and a switch, and the wires. Okay? When you turn it on, sorry about that, it's not all of that bright, but the bulb lights due to the current that passes through the bulb and through the wires we have a bulb that light.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Ms. Jasuda Cyril. Today I'll be talking about the beam balance, simple machine, food chain, and the food pyramid. So first, I want to talk about the beam balance. Here, as my beam balance, I have a scale. A beam balance is a tool used to compare the mass of objects. It works by placing objects on both sides of the beam. So this is called the beam. When the beam is level, the masses are equal, demonstrating balance and equilibrium. So we will put stuff in the beam and it will, which side is heavier, which side is lighter, or if it's equal, it will be the same. Next one, I have the simple machine. This is a lever. The simple machine functions as a first class lever with the fulcrum located between the effort and the load. So this is the effort and here is called a fulcrum. The simple machine helps reduce effort and makes lifting or measuring materials easier. So when you want to lift, it goes up. Next one is the food chain. The food chain shows the flow of energy in an ecosystem. Plants are producers, herbivores are herbivores consume plants, and carnivores or the top predator feeds on other plants. So here I have the producer, which is the plant. Here I have the consumer, which is the kangaroo, and these two are called the top predators. So the first secondary consumer, I have a tiger, and the top predator is called the lion. Last one, I have a food pyramid. The food pyramid illustrates a balanced diet. It shows the different food groups, and the recommended proportion of each, with foods at the base eaten in a large amount and foods at the top eaten in small amounts to maintain good health. So here I have sweets, and it says you must eat less sweets. Here I have dairy. For dairy, we have cheese, milk, and here I have protein. For protein and dairy, we should eat it moderately. And here I have fruits. Here I have vegetables, grains, and cereals, which we must eat more. We must eat more fruits and vegetables, and we must mostly eat grains and cereals. Thank you for listening.